you want to see how your team would respond. You got to see some of that today. What were your takeaways from that?
You know, we saw it in the fall with UNC Wilmington. We scored 5 in the bottom of the last frame there to tie that game. You know, and that was a big. I thought that was a big kind of a light bulb moment for the team. You know, it's one thing to say you can play from behind and, you know, play from a deficit and flip the scoreboard and take the lead late. It's another thing to actually do it. And a lot of times you have to do it a few times before you believe you can be a late inning heroics, come from behind type of a team. So this win was actually a lot more valuable than just this single win, because of the believability our guys have, knowing that, you know, we can score at any time, and they just need to stay positive, stay with it, stick with the approach, find a way to string quality at bats together, get on base, be aggressive. Good things will happen. And so I thought it showed a lot of toughness, especially mental toughness, to just be able to stay neutral, stay in the middle, not get down on themselves, because we, 7th inning, we left the bases loaded, you know, and we had a runner on third with less than 2 outs. We struck out on a fastball in looking. And so, you know, that could have been a demoralizing opportunity, thinking that was it, that was our moment. But, you know, credit to the guys next inning, go walk, double, sac fly, double, tag up on a fly ball to take an extra 90 to third, and then that allows us to score on the wild pitch. So it was a totally, you know, another aggressive inning of just, you know, really we slugged a lot more that inning, which was good to see, because the hits were just hard to come by today. They played much better brand of baseball, picked a lot more, and they pitched very, very well today. I thought they had a good game plan of pitching backwards, of mixing off speed pitches, of coming with fastballs late. And we'll have to adjust to that, because we had some uncomfortable at-bats early, and we made some mistakes early, but if we're going to make mistakes, it's better to make them early than late.
How about the fact that your bullpen, though, and also Gordon, were able to keep it 1-0 and give you that opportunity late to win the game?
It's huge when you can get holds out of the bullpen, for sure, to be able to utilize those guys that all handed the ball off to each other. You know, even Rocco Reed is really good, and you know he had a 4-pitch walk today, but he'll be back out there, and you know, probably be back out there tomorrow. And then Jackson Lindley pitching out of some jams, and Willie Weiss pitching out of some jams, and Tristan Smith pitching out of the jam. I mean, they just did a good job of picking each other up and letting the defense work. We did have 4 walks today. That is in a hit by pitch. It's above the line for the standard that we like to pitch at, but you know, the defense turned some nice double plays. None better and cooler than Austin Gordon's highlight reel, you know, Superman catch. I mean, that's the athlete that he is. There's, you know, he might be the only one that can make that play, and you know, luckily he was on the mound when that bunt went up in the air, because that was awesome.
Coach, it seems like when you do make a switch on the mound, you take some time to chat with both the player that's coming in and the one you're replacing. Is that typical for you? What do you like to say to your guys out there?
It is. I'll say it's just kind of depending on the mood of the situation. They may, you know, it's like that Bull Durham scene, you know, candlesticks and
wedding presents.
Wedding presents. No, it's usually I stay out there because the way we do it is the pitcher that's departing hands the ball to the pitcher who's coming in. So it gives me an opportunity to talk to the defense a little bit longer, but it also anchors in that message of one guy's connected to the other and he's picking him up. So there isn't that feeling of the guy leaving the mound, you know, upset with himself. He's turning it over to his teammate who's gonna pick him up and do the job. So usually the conversation is very tactical about what do we need and how can we get it. But sometimes we'll talk about stuff that has nothing to do with baseball.
Coach, it seemed obvious that Binghamton may have prioritized limiting your base running after the 11 stolen bases last night, but that didn't seem to deter your aggressiveness at all.
No, and everybody knows we're going to be aggressive, and if we're planning on stealing on 0, 1, or 2 looks at second base, and that pitcher's defense and he and the middle guys run a pick off of that same head look. In other words, if we're running a 1-look steal and they do a 1-look timing pick, we're going to be out. I mean, it's a gamble. It's the risk we take, and that happened to Ben, and it is what it is. I have no problem with that. Cam Canarella was picked off. He had a big lead, guy to balk move. The first baseman didn't give him much of a dive back window, but we would philosophically, and just from the mindset that we want to employ, we would rather get picked off at first base because our lead is too big versus thrown out at second because our lead is too small. And that's just the discipline that we have to have there, and just be able to play in that space, which is aggressive. Now, when we cross the aggressive line to the stupid line and have careless mistakes out there and get doubled up, that's uncharacteristic of us. And those are the mistakes that I'm glad we're making, and we're making, early in the game and early in the season, because those are all growth opportunities. And I would much rather us, our program, our team, make mistakes going full speed, going fast, even if they do look careless, than be timid and scared and make mistakes because we're on our heels, not because we're going full speed.
I need to ask you, I know you only got 2 wins here, but you got your 400th for your career. Just how does that feel for you? And do you ever think you get 400 wins?
No, it doesn't. I like talking about the players.
Well, I'm gonna ask you about a coach. What's it like with that dynamic with you and Jack in the dugout?
It's awesome. I mean, he's still a coach for me personally, and a mentor personally, and a coach and a mentor for our coaches as well. And just you have a Hall of Fame coach in the dugout with us, being able to share his experience and give nuggets of wisdom. I mean, that's a huge advantage, I feel like, for us to have him here in the dugout with us at Clemson. So we certainly appreciate it. I know just his leadership, mentorship with the players as well, just his presence and just his ability to engage with our players. I know they appreciate him as well. So you got a Hall of Fame coach who still has level 10 energy, and so it's great having him in there. And he sits right next to me, and wouldn't have it any other way.
What have you seen from Jay Dill in practice that made you give him the start tomorrow?
He's just been consistent, and he's a big body, but he's very athletic as well. Feels his position very well, like Gordo does. So, he's a guy that's got kind of like Ammons, where he has that induced vertical break, that rise to the fastball. He's just got that from the right side, so it's a really good four-seam fastball. He's got a breaking ball and a change for strikes, but it's just a strike. He's throws enough strikes. He may not be the a Greg Maddux type, but he is effective in the strike zone with the pitches that he has. And we'll need him to be good tomorrow, because that's clearly a team that is very capable, very competitive, and we saw their hitters today very rarely swung and missed. And the strikeouts that we got today were huge because they were in big spots, but they did a good job of putting the bat on the ball and putting pressure on us. And luckily for us, our defense is just playing at a very high level, and we were able to have a lot of ball security out there.
I want to avoid that left fielder too, don't you? As much as you can.
That was a Superman catch out there. That was awesome. I mean, I didn't think the way that ball was hooking when Blake hit it that there was any way he was going to get to it, but just the closing speed up the hill too, which is he's fighting gravity, and still accelerated to that catch. That was impressive. So that was a big time tip of the cap, because that was a game-saving play and turned it into a double positive for them, because I think Cooper on his attempt to put the brakes on lost his footing there. So great play.
Any other questions? All right,
Thank you, Coach. Congrats.
Thank you guys.